Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome to episode 10 of 10-minute Taraweeh, and we begin with our Fatiha fact. We already mentioned the verse إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. The second half of this is you alone, we ask for help. We ask Allah's help by supplicating to Him, making dua, seeking relief, istighatha through Him. We also at the same time take the means, the worldly means through which His help is achieved. At the same time we can also help each other, and there's nothing wrong with helping one another because Allah aids His servant as long as the servant helps his brother. We come now to Juz number 10. We are in Surah Al-Anfal, and the first verse that we'll mention is here, number 45. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا لقيتم فئة فاثبتوا واذكروا الله كثيرا لعلكم تفلحون. So some keys are mentioned here to success, and that is expressed in the context of battle. And the first of these is to be steadfast, to be firm, and to remember Allah much. وَأَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ وَلَا تَنَازَعُوا فَتَفْشَلُوا وَتَذْهَبَ رِيحُكُمْ وَاصْبِرُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَ الصَّابِرِينَ. And obey Allah and His Messenger, and do not fall into dispute, because that will lead to failure and your energies will be dissipated. But have patience, because Allah is with those who are patient and steadfast. In verse number 60 we have an expression of building a deterrent against those who would cause harm to the Muslims. وَأَعِدُّوا لَهُم مَّا اسْتَطَعْتُم مِّن قُوَّةٍ وَمِن رِّبَاطِ الْخَيْلِ تُرْهِبُونَ بِهِ عَدُوَّ اللَّهِ وَعَدُوَّكُمْ. And this is important to understand the original meaning of Arabic words, as the word turhibuna is now associated with the term irhab, which is a modern word for terrorism. Of course, a verse like this is not speaking about terrorizing people, but rather having a deterrent against those who would cause harm. In fact, the next verse shows this very clearly, because it tells us that if the others should incline to peace, then we should likewise be inclined to peace, as that is the default and the origin. وَإِن جَنَحُوا لِلسَّلْمِ فَاجْنَحْ لَهَا وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ إِنَّهُ هُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. Carrying on through Surah Al-Anfal, we come to its end and we reach Surah At-Tawba, also part of Juz number 10. And Surah At-Tawba is unusual in the way it begins, because unlike every other surah of the Quran, it does not begin with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Rather, it begins like this: براءة من الله ورسوله إلى الذين عاهدتم من المشركين. And this surah is full, indeed as others we mentioned before, of verses which can be taken, if taken in isolation, could present a certain picture of Islam's attitude towards fighting and violence. But if read contextually, the context of the verses, the context that's on the page, and also the context of why these verses were revealed, in reference to whom and under what circumstances, that would provide us the means to understand them correctly. And this is extremely important. We find in verse 6, وَإِنْ أَحَدٌ مِّنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ اسْتَجَارَكَ فَأَجِرْهُ حَتَّى يَسْمَعَ كَلَامَ اللَّهِ ثُمَّ أَبْلِغْهُ مَأْمَنَهُ ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّهُمْ قَوْمٌ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. So in the midst of these verses talking about fighting, it says that if any of the polytheists should seek refuge with you, then grant him that refuge and safe passage. And in verse number 13, أَلَا تُقَاتِلُونَ قَوْمًا نَكَثُوا أَيْمَانَهُمْ وَهَمُّوا بِإِخْرَاجِ الرَّسُولِ وَهُمْ بَدَؤُوكُمْ أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ. So it's calling on the Muslims to fight, but against those who have done such and such things, and they are the ones who initiated hostilities. وَهُمْ بَدَؤُوكُمْ أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ. So then it should not be seen as though these verses are calling for attacking those who have done no wrong against the Muslims beforehand. Verse number 19 reflects something which has become known as the fiqh of priorities, of recognizing that there are different levels of actions, there are different levels of good deeds as well as levels of bad deeds. أجعلتم سقاية الحاج وعمارة المسجد الحرام كمن آمن بالله واليوم الآخر وجاهد في سبيل الله لا يستوون عند الله والله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين. So there is a difference in the sight of God between those who do certain outward good deeds compared to those who believe in God and direct their actions to Him alone. Carrying on through Surah At-Tawba, in verse number 32 we have a reminder, a very strong statement that God's plan is supreme regardless of how people may plot against it. يريدون أن يطفئوا نور الله بأفواههم. They wish to extinguish the light of God by their mouths. وَيَأْبَى اللَّهُ إِلَّا أَن يُتِمَّ نُورَهُ وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْكَافِرُونَ. But God refuses anything but that His light should be completed, even if the unbelievers should detest it. Verse number 40 makes reference to one of the companions of the Prophet, peace be upon him, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, his companion in the cave as they made their way of migration from Mecca to Medina and took refuge in the cave of Thawr. إلا تنصروه فقد نصره الله إذ أخرجه الذين كفروا ثاني اثنين إذ هما في الغار إذ يقول لصاحبه لا تحزن إن الله معنا. So he said to his companion, do not fear, do not grieve, indeed God is with us. Verses 55 to 56. As we go through this surah, we find that much of it is chasing after those people who are known as the hypocrites, exposing their secret plots against the Muslim community. Verses 55 and 56 are reflective of this. فَلَا تُعْجِبْكَ أَمْوَالُهُمْ وَلَا أَوْلَادُهُمْ إنما يريد الله ليعذبهم بها في الحياة الدنيا وتزهق أنفسهم وهم كافرون. So it may be on the surface that people's wealth and families and status are impressive, but in reality God is only giving them a time until they will be caught out. Verse 60 gives us categories of those who are recipients of the zakat or the obligatory alms. إنما الصدقات للفقراء والمساكين والعاملين عليها والمؤلفة قلوبهم وفي الرقاب والغارمين وفي سبيل الله وابن السبيل فريضة من الله والله عليم حكيم. And the last thing we'll mention is a verse which mentions that believers, both men and women, are friends, allies and supporters to one another. وَالْمُؤْمِنُونَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتُ بَعْضُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ يَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَيُؤْتُونَ الزَّكَاةَ وَيُطِيعُونَ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ أولئك سيرحمهم الله إن الله عزيز حكيم. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.